Welcome to Permission to Thrive. I'm your host, Suzi Lula. As a spiritual therapist for over 20 years, I have the honor and privilege of ushering women and mothers just like you on a journey from simply surviving to powerfully thriving. I also have the honor of raising our son, Will, who is now a young adult, with my longtime partner, Jamie, so I'm right there on the journey with you. Consider this your personal sanctuary, your space to meet your heart, embrace your messy, and come home to your most authentic, extraordinary self. My hope is that you leave resourced and inspired because you are here to shine. Welcome to Permission to Thrive. Hi, and welcome to today's solo episode titled, How to Stay Grounded and at Peace in a World That is So Chaotic Right Now. So I'm going to take you through 4 spiritual principles that I am practicing to ensure that you will leave this episode feeling calm, centered, and empowered. I'm also going to take you through a short guided meditation and short guided process to ensure that your nervous system leaves soothed, calm, and inspired as you go back into all of your relationships. So I don't know about you all, but every client, friend, whether I'm in a yoga class, sitting and teaching a class, being in front of a client, everyone is so aware of this heightened energy, this intensified energy that is happening on planet Earth right now. And I think that we are all seeking to find our own groundedness, our own inner peace in the midst of such outer turmoil. Clients, students are asking me how to stay at peace and be able to even speak to our children about the state of the world right now. So in this episode, we're going to dive into these 4 spiritual teachings and 4 spiritual practices that you can do to find your way to absolute utter peace, calm, a groundedness within your nervous system, and that makes you available to be that presence for all those around you in your life. So let's jump in. The first spiritual principle and practice actually comes from science. It's where spirituality meets science, and it's by Albert Einstein. You've probably heard this quote. It says, "We will never solve the problem at the level of consciousness that created the problem. We will never solve what is happening on planet Earth at the level of consciousness that is creating the problems." It's the same in your own family. It's the same with your own spouse. If you and your spouse, or me and my spouse, is having any kind of conflict, challenge, issue, we're not going to solve the issue. We're not going to come together in unification at the level of consciousness that's creating the issue. So just begin to observe yourself this week. What do you hear yourself saying to others about the state of the world, about the state of your relationship? Begin to observe yourself. Begin to listen to yourself. What words, what phrases, what energy are you putting out into your conversations? By becoming observant and witnessing of the words you're using, the energy that you're putting out without judging yourself, simply witnessing, simply observing, your words, your own phrases, your own energy becomes your guidance system. And that guidance system is directing you back into yourself, within yourself. So you may be speaking about the state of the world, speaking about the state of your relationship. But if you listen to the way that you're describing, articulating the energy with which you're putting forward, that energy is directing you back inside of yourself, asking yourself, revealing to you What are you thinking? What are you believing to be true about yourself, about your relationships, about the world? When you listen to the phrases and the sentences and the energy, when you begin to witness and observe yourself, you become clear about what you are believing about the world and the events that are happening in the world. If you find yourself complaining, upset, raging, frustrated, you won't solve the problem at the level of consciousness that created the problem, but you don't judge your complaining, you don't judge your upset. Your complaining, your upset, your rage, your indignation, your frustration is a message for you to raise your own vibration, to raise your own frequency. Because no connection can be made, no peace can be brokered. We're not going to negotiate peace from a place of complaining and upset. But the soul medicine for complaining and raising your own vibration to get above the level of the problem is to become aware of the tone, the energy, the words that you're speaking, and then to ask yourself, what are the unmet needs within you that your own words, your own energy are reflecting back to you? So if you hear yourself complaining, frustrated, upset, rageful, angry, overwhelmed, that is mirroring back to you that there are some unmet needs within you. So you first tell yourself, it's so understandable that you would be frustrated. It's so understandable that you would feel rage. It's so understandable that you would feel angry in a world that is so polarized right now, in a world that is thinking that we can bomb another country to then broker peace. It's so understandable that you are feeling the way that you are feeling. All of your feelings are valid. You want to say this to yourself over and over again. All of my feelings are valid. And then you are asking yourself, from these valid feelings, what is the place within me that has unmet needs? What are the needs there that perhaps stem back all the way from my childhood that don't even have anything to do with this external event? What are these unmet needs within me? What is the yearning? What is the calling out? You're listening for the messages. You're listening for the longing. You're listening. What is it that you need? What is it that you need? What is it that you need? If you ask yourself, what is it that I need? And you ask yourself often enough, you will begin to hear the answers. And that leads me to the second spiritual principle, which is that each one of our souls, your soul, when you incarnated on planet Earth, your soul knows, it's encoded to know that it has come here on Earth to walk with other individuals who are all operating at very different levels of consciousness. And your soul is perfectly at peace right now. So what we are seeing being played out on the world stage are individuals that are operating at different levels of consciousness. The leaders, the world leaders, the leaders on the world stage are operating at different levels of consciousness, perhaps a different level of consciousness than where you are operating. When you look at this from the level of the problem, you are going to get frustrated, upset, feel rage, feel energy. When you look at it from a connected place, an aligned place from your soul knows, your soul is at peace, that part of what you came here to Earth as a soul is to be in relationship with, to bump up against individuals that are operating at different levels of consciousness. And so it is incumbent upon us to become at peace, to learn how to relate to individuals who are operating at differing levels of consciousness with differing values and differing belief systems. So this isn't only about what you think about the political divisiveness on this planet or bombs dropping. It could be how anything in your life, like Your child not wanting to brush their teeth, your child not wanting to go to bed at their said bedtime brings you down, dysregulates your nervous system. It could be as simple as how something in your life has the power to dysregulate your nervous system. And then you project it out to the world stage, how a particular political leader or supposed world leader, we use this term leader loosely, but how an individual has the power to take you down, to dysregulate your nervous system. And because our children or our spouse or a neighbor or someone on the freeway can have the power to trigger us into a dysregulated nervous system, imagine then thinking about the political divisiveness, bombs dropping on a country and killing innocent children, innocent civilians, innocent people. So it comes back to learning to regulate your own nervous system. The sole medicine for this is to affirm that no one outside of yourself, be it a 3-year-old or someone with a different political view, has the power to disrupt your nervous system. You want to affirm this over and over and over again. No one and no thing has the power to disrupt my nervous system. And if in fact I do get triggered, I do get dysregulated, I have compassion for myself. It's so understandable that given the climate of the world, that I would become dysregulated. It's so understandable if I have a teenager and they are acting out, that I would become dysregulated. It is very understandable, and yet and still, I take the accountability, I take the ownership. That is my job and my job alone to regulate my own nervous system. And so you want to practice saying, I have dominion over my nervous system. I'm not giving away that dominion to anyone, anytime, anyway. And it is a practice of coming home to your own calm nervous system. No one, no thing, no event, no individual, no situation, no circumstance gets to have the power to dysregulate my nervous system. I and I alone have the dominion to stay centered and anchored and grounded. No media, no news media, the news, a politician, a different view, a different value system. Nothing has the power. I'm not giving anything else the power, because once you are regulated, it doesn't mean you won't speak up. It doesn't mean you won't speak out, but it means that if and when you speak up and you speak out, you are doing it from a place of inner empoweredness, inner regulated energy, inner groundedness, centeredness, power, inner power. And that brings me to the third spiritual practice, which is to train yourself, teach yourself, practice to be for something and against nothing. So what in the world do I mean by that? Clearly, one would say we're against a war, or we're against bombing, or we're against killing individual children or civilians. It seems so clear what we're against, but I'm telling you, you want to practice instead to be for something and against nothing. So if you are right now saying, well, I'm against that politician, I'm against that war, you're asking yourself then, the medicine is, well, what am I for? You say, well, I am for peace. I am for peaceful resolutions. I am for peaceful negotiations. You want to find so many things that you can be for, because when you are for something, you are living in a vibration and a frequency and an energy that so surpasses, it's so much higher than the energy of againstness. So instead of being against a war, you're training your nervous system to be for peace. So it may sound like semantics, but if you take the moment and take a moment right now and feel the contrast in your nervous system, you can prove this out to yourself right now. If you begin to think about being against a war, and you begin to think about the bombs that are dropping, an innocent child, their life being lost, a mom who is grieving, and you begin to feel against the politician or the leader that is behind it or instigating it, you're going to feel a certain vibration. But if you take the same world events and you begin to feel in your body, what does it feel like to be for peace? What does it feel to be for a peaceful resolution? What does it feel to be for peaceful negotiations? Are you for ensuring that every baby on earth gets the same chance to live in peace? Are you for every child on earth getting to be fed? Are you for every child feeling safe right where they are on planet Earth? Are you for a world that works for everyone, for a world that is still connected to our humanity and our sensitivity? Are you for a world that takes care of each other's children as if they are your own? Are you for a world that takes care of each other's children as if they are your own? These are some of the things that I am for. I don't have the power in this moment to change an outside situation alone, but I absolutely have dominion to train my own nervous system to say, I am for this, I am for this. I can list 20, 30, 40, 50 things that I am for. And when I train my nervous system in this way, it puts me into a certain flow, into a certain vibration, and it elevates and raises my own frequency, my own vibration. It lifts me up. The same world events are happening. I am operating at a higher frequency. I am operating at a higher vibration, and therefore I have more to contribute to the world because I'm elevated and I'm at peace and I'm aligned and I'm calm and I've taken my own dominion and I'm empowered from the inside out of me. No one can touch that. No one can touch me. So if I envision that I'm caring for every Palestinian child, even though maybe I was raised Jewish, which I was, as if that child is my own, and I'm caring for every Israeli child, every Iranian child, every child in the Ukraine or Russia, every child is important and every child deserves safety and food and shelter and clothing. I am for this. I am seeing this world. I am living in this vibration that, as Albert Einstein says, is elevated from the level of the issues and the problems and the challenges. This is what I stay riveted to. This is what is keeping my vibration high because I'm practicing this over and over and over again. And then what does that do? It strengthens my immune system. A calm nervous system creates a strong immune system. And when your immune system is strong, you are healthy in body, mind, soul, and spirit. You are vibrant and you are more able to be helpful. You are more able to be assistful. You are more able to contribute from a high place. You are more able to speak up and speak out from a place of service and high vibration. It allows you to resonate at the vibrational level of a Martin Luther King Jr. or one of our great artists or poets, a Maya Angelou. This vibration, this frequency, this energy, it is available to every one of us all the time. So I challenge you to write out a list of 30 things that you are for, where the global stage is concerned, where your parenting is concerned, 30 things that you are for, where your partnership, your marriage is concerned, your relationship with your body is concerned, your relationship with your finances is concerned. 30 things that you are for in every area of your life. It will elevate your frequency like nothing else. What are you for in your life? And then challenge yourself to live in that frequency, to stay in that frequency. Of course, you'll be in conversations, you'll hear the news, you'll see something, and you may be pulled off or caught or hooked for a moment. It's like riding a bike. When you learn to ride a bike, you fall off, you get back up. You fall off, you get back up. It's just part of the journey, part of the process. But if you write out 30 things that you are for, you have 30 very powerful things, core values that beckon you higher and higher and higher. And then the last spiritual principle, the last spiritual practice is the search for meaning. The question, what is this here to teach me? What is this here to teach us? What am I individually learning through these world events? What am I individually needing to learn through these world events? What is my soul longing, yearning to learn about myself? How am I being asked to grow and to stretch and evolve and transform through these world events? And then we're asking the same thing as a collective, worldwide community. What is this here to teach us as a collective? What is this here that we are to learn from? How is this here for us? And once we find meaning, we find freedom. When you find meaning, you find freedom. So we have individual consciousness, and we have individual unconsciousness, and we have individual superconsciousness. So we have the conscious mind, we have the unconscious mind, and we have the superconscious mind. Individually, you have those three areas of your consciousness. And you are to ask yourself, what are you learning? What is your soul being beckoned to learn and grow and transform through around these world events? And we also have a collective consciousness, a collective unconsciousness, and a collective superconsciousness. And so we're asking ourselves the same questions. What are we learning through these situations? What is here for us? What is the opportunity? What is here in potential for us? I know that I've referenced this often over this past maybe month of the world events happening, that I look to the different world events. What was the Holocaust here to teach us? What was slavery here to teach us? What was the coming to America here to teach us and the way that we appropriated this land? What was COVID here to teach us? COVID was here to teach us that we are one, that when someone is sick on one side of the planet, we all have the potential to be sick on the other side of the planet. We are one. And it is the same teaching, that the same learning that we are being asked to rise up into. We are one planet. We are a global community. We are a global family. We are sisters. We are brothers. When one of us hurts, all of us hurts. When one of us suffers, all of us suffer. When one of us rises up, all of us have the potential to rise up. And so in our unity, in our oneness, in the coming together, where can we find our humanity? Where can we come together with someone else who has different political ideologies, different political value systems? How can we come together with someone who has different sexual value systems, different relationship value systems? How can we come together and know that we are brothers and sisters, and our soul knows that we are here to open doors, to sit across tables, to listen, to hear, to be interested in? Well, there's so much that led someone to their set of value systems, just like there's so much that has led you to your value systems. But what I can tell you, sitting here in front of individuals and students and classes all day long, every day, I can assure you that we all want the same thing on planet Earth. We all want our humanity intact. We all want our humanity, our connection. We want to be seen. We want to know that our life matters. We want to know that our life is important. We want to know that we are cherished. We want to know that we are valued, that we are treasured. We want to know that we are one humanity. We want to know that we're sensitive to each other's needs and to each other's pain. I promise you, somebody with a radically different value system, they want the same thing for their family. They want their family to be safe. They want their children to be safe. They just have different ideas and ways that they think will get them to the same destination. But trust me when I tell you, we're all looking for the same destination. It's safety for our children, peace in our relationships, utter equanimity within our own nervous systems. When you start becoming interested and listening to someone else who has a different value system than you do, you will find that you both want the same thing. I want the same thing for my son as a mom in the Ukraine does. I want my son to be safe. She wants her son to be safe. I want my son to be fed and clothed and treated with respect and dignity. And a mom of a transgender child wants their child to be treated with dignity and respect. We all want the same thing. I want the same thing that a mom in the Gaza wants, a mom in Israel wants. We all want the same thing. And once you find meaning and you connect with someone who may seemingly want different things, and you take the time to listen and go under the surface, you're going to find that we want the same thing. Yes, we may have very different means to get there. We want the same thing, and it is finding the unity, finding where we come together, finding what we do share that allows vulnerability. It allows safety for us to tell each other our stories. Can you imagine if Israel and Palestine could sit around a table and take the time to listen to each other's humanity and each other's journey? They have radically different ways of trying to find their way to the solution, but what I can guarantee you is everyone wants the same thing while we're on planet Earth. And once you begin to listen and recognize that we share the same wants, desires, and longings, I promise you, the way to get there becomes so much easier than we think. We're less divided. We become on the same team, going in the same direction, and we become collectively stronger when we meet in a unified field. It's just like Viktor Frankl. It's just like Nelson Mandela. It's just like John Lennon, who could rise in consciousness and recognize we do all want the same thing. We want to live as one. Like Martin Luther King Jr., we all have a dream. We share these things. This is the frequency that I tap into every day. This is the frequency and the energy that I am inviting you to stand in, tap in, tune into, practice every day of your life. So let's all take a deep breath in and just allow that which I have shared to settle inside. And I am going to take you through a short guided process, a short guided meditation to assist you to let your nervous system calm, to let this embody itself within you, integrate itself within you, so that you leave not with merely information, but with an experience, an experiential process of feeling it in your nervous system. So just gently close your eyes. Just allow yourself to slow down. Take a nice, long, deep breath in, and take your time to exhale. Maybe place your hand on your heart as a way of connecting inwardly, saying to yourself, I'm right here. I'm here to help you calm. I'm here to help you relax. I'm not going anywhere. And you begin to realize that inside of your heart, there is the most beautiful room that you are entering. It could be an indoor space, it could be an outdoor space, but you're entering into a space that feels absolutely, utterly safe for you. It could be a small room where you feel so cocooned, so wrapped in love and safety. You feel so held, you feel so supported. It could be an outdoor space where you see beautiful blue skies and green grass and beautiful flowers and a cool breeze, and you feel equally, utterly safe. Perhaps you're lying down on the green grass. You feel safe. Safe to be yourself. Safe to exhale. Safe to allow yourself to feel held. In this place, you become aware that within your heart there is wisdom. And right now, your wisdom is guiding you. And it is revealing to you what is important to you in your life about staying calm and centered and peaceful in the midst of whatever is going on in your life. And so you are asking, what do I need to stay calm, to be at peace, to stay centered, to stay aligned, to be part of a beautiful flow? You do have a dream. You do have a vision. You can see a world that works for everyone. It may start with your family working for everyone. And as you are asking about your guidance, what you are here to know, what messages are here for you, you begin to hear the messages, the insights, and you begin to set your intention. How is it that I am leaving this time different? What is it that I am to bring back into my relationships? How is it that I am changed? What is it that I am to bring back? And you listen. And you form it into a sentence. My intention is. And as you're sitting with that and allowing that to integrate and embody inside of you, I'm just going to review as your eyes are closed these 4 practices. Albert Einstein, you are not going to go back into your life and solve your issues at the level of the issues. You are to rise in consciousness. Your soul absolutely knows that you are here to relate to individuals operating at different stages of consciousness. You know this. Your soul is at peace with this. You are going back into your outer life for something and against nothing. And lastly, you are asking, what is this here to teach me? What is this here to teach us? And whenever you're ready, you gently open your eyes. Just before we leave, I want to share with you, I am offering my very first in-person retreat because it is so important, just like in this episode, to take the time in, time away from your outer life, to tune in, to tap in to the wisdom, the heart, the soul within you, to release any of the indoctrinations, the noise that gets in the way of you living your most thriving, shining life. It's so important to take time in. And that's why I created and am offering my very first in-person retreat in Los Angeles in October. You will be nourished and cared for from the inside out. You will come home to your highest self, and you will be surrounded and supported in my soul care community, the likes of which you can't even imagine. It's the most beautiful, beautiful community filled with my most extraordinary, kind, loving coaches. You'll be held, you'll be supported in this community, and you will leave so full that you will radiate and light up all of your relationships back at home. So for more information, see the show notes. October, Los Angeles, in person. Come nourish yourself, come home to yourself, come be held, come be refreshed, resourced. And until next week, give yourself permission to thrive. So much love, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. If there was something in this conversation that spoke to you, we'd so appreciate it if you would take the time to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share this episode with women and mothers you know, because you are here to thrive. See you next time.